Welcome to another episode of Until It's Done, a devoted podcast. I'm your host, Dana Lynn Kay, and this is a very, very special episode because on this episode, I have the love of my life, Greg. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you for having me.
I've been wanting to have Greg on for a while. If you guys follow me mainly on Instagram, not necessarily TikTok. Greg's been on TikTok a little bit, but it was in stories and stuff. Greg and I have been together 4 years now. And in the beginning of Instagram, in stories, because I had gotten divorced. I would like 2 months before Greg and I started dating. And so I wasn't too sure when I wanted to introduce having a new guy in my life, since people had known that I was married with kids or whatever. And so for a while, remember when I had you as the mystery man and I wouldn't show your face?
It's perfect.
It was for a long time that you were the mystery man. So first of all, I did put a question thing on my Instagram today of questions that people wanted to ask you. And so I got just a list of them because I only put it up an hour or two ago. And I'm just going to tell you what the questions are first before we get into our whole thing so that, because first of all, because people did want to know, how did we meet? So do you want to tell how we met?
Yeah, sure. I mean, actually, it's nice that you got a list from people to put a little direction to where we're going.
For questions? Oh, no, I have directions. I have an entire note section of I've been planning this.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, this won't go stale. There's lots to talk about.
I just didn't want it to go stale.
Don't worry. Don't you have faith in me?
Well, yeah.
Do you have faith? Have I let you down yet?
Occasionally.
Shut up.
But no, so where did I meet Dana? So my one business partner happened to live next door to Dana. He's a strength and conditioning coach. So again, on the whole fitness thing. But we train at his gym. My other business partner and I train at the gym, and we met Dana at this place called Barwitz. Again, he's my business partner, and I kind of asked about her. I met her kids first, actually, and was always playing with the kids. But we kind of asked about her because we're like, "Oh, this lady's kind of hot," and he's like, "Yeah, she's going through divorce, so don't fuck this up. They're good clients." So we had to wait a little bit, and then ended up asking her out. I don't know, maybe after knowing them for 3 or 4 months, and then we went on a date.
You slid up in my DMs.
No, you slid up in mine. You said congratulations on getting married.
No,
I posted a picture.
First of all, you slid up in my DMs first. I was out in California doing a photo shoot, and you told me to go get In-N-Out Burger.
No, you posted a photo, and it looked like a Tinder post.
Okay, but if we're backing up to before you even try to take a run at me, I was out in California because I know this because I went back in my DMs just to check because I was and I remember I brought in meal prep foods because I was doing that shoot, my favorite one, the Malibu shoot, the shots that were out that are hanging in our gym, and you said, why don't you hit up In-N-Out Burger? And I was like, who is this guy? What is he talking about? I'm not eating In-N-Out Burger. I'm going to here at a photo shoot for fitness, and you just tried it, whatever. And I'm like, this guy's crazy. I'm not eating that shit.
Erroneous.
And then you were like, well, I'm shredded and I eat In-N-Out. And then you did text me, but it was in my DMs. It was in Instagram, and you said you asked me about the picture that I posted, and you said it looked like a Tinder shot.
Yeah, exactly. And then, it was a Tinder shot.
And you were like, if you don't, and I was like, no, I'm not on Tinder. And you're like, well, if you want somebody to help keep you off Tinder, I'll take you out.
Yeah, swipe right.
That was a nice, what was it, a line?
Yeah.
That was good.
Recent divorcee. We had the inside information. So.
Yeah, and the kids do claim, Bryce said the other day, she's like, Mom, we knew Greg before you even did, because you were in there all the time doing gymnastics with them and handstands and cartwheels, and they thought you guys, and I just thought you were a bunch of goofy guys. But didn't you say, what did you think of me on Instagram?
Oh, I hated you on Instagram. Hated.
You hated?
Yeah, this character that never stops talking. From Jersey, just blah, 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 blah.
And you thought I was stupid.
Oh, yeah, so dumb. Straight face. I was intelligence level of 3.
So really, you were just trying to like get a kill.
Yeah, 100%.
You were like, she's hot, she's single,
Divorcee. I was like,
older lady, whatever.
older lady, like guaranteed this is getting done.
So you're like, I'm going to ask her out. I'm going to take her to tacos.
Yeah, and then we went to tacos and she ate all the food.
Yeah, I was in the chips.
Yeah, you ate everything. We got like shared like a tapas style, and I'd say she ate like 90% of it.
Yeah, I had you know what? Because let me be honest with you. So Steph, I screenshotted a couple pictures of you from your Instagram because I'm like, I just said yes to going out with this guy from my gym. And so I was like, I got to show my friends and like see what they think. And so I screenshotted, I sent over to Steph a few of your pictures and I was like, I don't know. Like, what do you, I'm going out with this guy on Wednesday. And then I was like, and she's like, yeah, he doesn't really look like your type. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's my type either. I was like, whatever. I'll just go out. Like, what am I going to do? It was the first Wednesday that I didn't have the kids. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Sit home? Like I didn't have Jagger or anything. So I was like, I'll go out with this guy. And then, so then that's why like on the date, I was just me. And then I was like, I don't care. I'm not trying to order a salad. First of all, I'm going to get a good meal out of this guy.
Yeah.
And I had a good Mexican meal. Okay. So anyways, so that's how we met. We ended up going out to tacos. I was just me. And then what did you think of me on the date?
Nothing. You were pretty cool. And then like, because you were one of those fitness people, I was like, oh, she probably has dietary restrictions or all this other shit.
Yeah. You had asked me that.
You ate pretty much everything.
So you were like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I could hold a conversation.
Yeah. You weren't as dumb as I thought you were going to be. So it was a big win for everybody.
So you were pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. And then obviously you liked me because you kept asking me out.
Well, I didn't think you were going to eat all the food and you ate all the food. And I was like, this might be a win. But then, after finding more about it, like there are dietary restrictions.
Well, because I can't just go ham like you do all the time, which we're going to get into because you and I So, okay. So then we got to know each other. And so, yeah, so that's how we met. And then we just started dating more and more. And then, we were socially dating. Greg he wouldn't commit to me. It was that we were socially dating. I couldn't call you like my boyfriend or anything for quite a while. We were just socially dating. And, then, we traveled. We went to New York together. We went to Hawaii, but you wouldn't commit to going to the Hawaii for the whole trip because you didn't know if you could spend that much time with me. And then you were pleasantly surprised again.
Yes.
So one thing led to another. Okay. So yeah, I have all kinds of notes and I do have questions from people. So, all right. So first of all, so we got through that. Okay. First of all, people want to know what the hell you do for a living. You want to tell them what you do?
I do a bunch of stuff, but I like making deals.
Yeah, Greg's into business.
Yeah, I like business. We have a drug company in the U.S. We do a lot of cannabis-based products, mostly for exports. We do.
So you're a drug dealer.
Yeah, so we sell cannabis. We sell other generic drugs, sterile injectables. And we have offices here. We do most of our business in Latin America. We have offices in like Sao Paulo, Rio, Goiânia, and then in Paraguay and Asuncion, and then in Colombia. So we export drugs. And it started with cannabis, and then we kind of got into other drugs also. But we manufacture for the most part all of them.
And so what did you go to school for, like that got you into doing that?
I went to school originally for sciences. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but my parents are like first generation people that kind of made money later in life. So they always kind of told us that we should go to school, be a doctor or a lawyer or some kind of thing like that. So I did an undergraduate degree in molecular biology and biochemistry. And then I went to like some pharmacy stuff after in pharmacology and literally did nothing with it.
Yeah.
Like absolutely nothing.
Just a big waste of time.
Huge waste of time. But I learned a lot of good stuff going to school. I paid for most of my school by bartending and, kind of selling drugs. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of your parents, remember when we did a thing I think we were in Puerto Rico and on my Instagram story, cause I was still having fun with you. It was still like in the beginning and I didn't really let people see too much of you and they didn't really, a little bit. No, at that time they did. And then I was like, can anybody guess this guy's ethnicity? And like people were all over the place and like, nobody guessed it obviously, but,
yeah, no one ever guesses it. And especially living in South Florida, everyone kind of like they'll speak Spanish to me no matter what. And then, well, and my core business is in Latin America. So everyone just assumes I'm some sort of Latin.
Yeah.
Or Brazilian because we do all the business in Brazil.
Yeah.
But I'm none of those.
And it depends on how like greasy your hair looks, or like if you have facial hair, like you could totally you'll be like, people think you're Mexican or people think you're Latin. I think.
Yeah.
Like,
but it turns out my dad's just a white guy with a mustache and my mom's this little Chinese Jamaican lady.
Chinese Jamaican. That's what throws people, because they were like, I posted it, like finally I was like, and the answer is, and people were like, what? Chinese, Jamaican, Polish? Like, what is that? Like, what kind of mutt is that? But yeah,
she looks like a little Asian Tiger Woods.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're awesome. Greg has the greatest parents. They've been here for a month and they're like the easiest parents to have around. They're great. They like to do chores.
Yeah, they stay out of your way.
They hang out with the kids. Like, they're fun. They walk Jagger. Carol likes to do all the cooking. So yeah, we've been having a good time. And you have a cool brother, which I love Dan. So, but his family is, so you're like taking it back. You're not even American.
No. Canadian.
He's Canadian. Okay. So now we're going to go into a little background about Greg's upbringing. So he's Canadian. And you once said to me that because you were an ice hockey player, and that you were like, so what age did you start playing ice hockey?
It was probably 3.
And you once said to me that you probably could skate better than you could walk.
For sure. At some point. Yeah.
Yeah. Because what age did you got skates on at 3?
3.
And so who's pushing you to be an ice hockey player? I mean, I know Canada, it's like everybody.
Well, my dad and my grandfather, but I think the Canadian dream for your kid is if you have a kid and you're from a blue collar working neighborhood, like your kid's supposed to play hockey.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you were like so stereotypical.
Yeah, that's it. And like you just were a hockey player. Like that's what you would do.
Yeah.
If you're from a blue collar neighborhood.
Okay. And so anybody who follows me on social media knows Greg is a nasty athlete. He's and I've spoken about Greg on other podcasts. I mean, he is the type of man that I needed, because I needed somebody that just is always going to be better than me, especially in athletics and performance. So,
no, only in athletics and math. Than that.
Okay, well, other things, like I bake way better than you. Like there's other things. I don't know. You make a mean fluff, but
I mean, just athletics.
And
but
math. Okay, and math for sure. So, but no, Greg is an awesome athlete, and you also played box lacrosse.
Yeah, I played box lacrosse and hockey.
Okay, both very
sports.
Aggressive sports.
Yeah, but like they're like the Canadian sports you play, and like box lacrosse is different than kind of the American lacrosse that everyone's used to, like field lacrosse.
Yeah,
it's pretty much just hockey in a box, and then you can fight.
Right. So is that what you enjoyed about the sports, the fighting?
Yeah, I love fighting. Even like the agents and like all the coaches always said don't fight, but like the rest of the boys loved it. So you would do it for the
really,
boys.
you're like, yeah,
boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Which you're not supposed to, but
yeah. Now, really, you would have been a sick soccer player because you're an amazing runner.
I really like looking at my parents' height. My dad's 5'6" and my mom's like 4'11" on a good day. I should have just played soccer. I played a little bit when I was younger, and then when I was 12, I had the opportunity to go to a boarding school and kind of turn like semi-pro and go to Holland. Because one of the kids that we grew up with, Dad, was a coach and a scout for this, what are they called? Like something for Linda. And we ended up, I had to choose hockey or soccer. And, being from Canada, I chose hockey.
Yeah. And then you ended up going to boarding school for hockey.
Yeah. So my parents we didn't make a lot of money then. We were really like lower middle class, and playing AAA hockey is really expensive. So I kind of had the option to stay at home, or if I went to boarding school, it was cheaper and it was kind of all paid for. And then my parents didn't have to drive me around and do everything else. So
smart.
So I went to boarding school for grade 9, I think. So I would have been 14. So yeah, I went to boarding school and then just kept going to boarding school, played hockey and lacrosse, and that was it.
And then you played hockey after boarding school?
Yeah, after boarding school, you played junior hockey in the Saskatchewan Junior League when I was in high school still, and then played junior in British Columbia after that.
Yeah. And now, do you think hockey? I talk a lot about on my Instagram about your mindset and how what you've done for me. You've really, since you've come into my life, you've changed who I am as a person a lot. Like, you have a mental toughness that you have a confidence that you really don't care what people say or think or, whatever, which you've taught me to stop caring so much about what people, I mean, like you seem to not, you don't let stuff get to you, which I don't,
I mean, playing sports and you're, supposed to listen to authority, it probably wasn't the best. I had a terrible attitude. Playing sport, I definitely could have gone a lot further had I had a better attitude.
Yeah.
Terrible for sports, terrible for things like that. But for like business and life, I think it's a good skill.
Yeah. Yes.
But following directions, not great. Because
like Greg, so there's a term like chirp, like Greg, I guess in hockey, a lot of Greg, we call him like Gregisms, like you use all these words that I'd never heard before, but you would say like, about people chirping somebody, which is like talking shit or whatever.
Talk shit, but like to be good at it, like you really cut people. It's not like you hit someone and it hurts, but like if you really chirp someone right, like it hurts them on the inside.
And you like get into your head. You're like, I'm going to rent space in this person's head.
Yeah, for the rest of their life.
Like, so you like doing that if somebody deserves it. I know you don't just do it just to do it. I mean, you're also a very nice guy. You're like the nicest guy I've also met. So you have like two sides where you can be the most amazing, sweet, unbelievable guy. And then you can be like, if you screw with me, like I'm not going to let you get to me. And you've got a confidence that has helped me, like, because I've seen the way that you handle situations. And now in business, I used to take things personal. And when I started dating you and I saw how you did not let things in business, you did not take them as personal as I did at all. Like deals would fall through and I didn't see it like affect you the way that I would like sometimes fall apart at the seams because I took everything so freaking personal, And like I could cry about that. I used to cry. I don't cry anymore. When shit hits the fan and things go wrong, like printing is bad or something happens or a batch is ruined or something goes down for devotion. I am not the same person I used to be. Like,
well, it's probably because you've been through the shit a bunch of times.
Okay, that could be too.
Happens once, whatever, you're sad, and then it just continues to happen. Everything fucks up always.
Yeah.
So like, I'm sure you're just used to things.
Yeah.
Going smoothly.
Yeah. Ever. But I'd fall apart. And then the way you stay so calm and then the way that I see you handle situations, it made me actually feel immature and stupid to act that way. And I realized like, Dana, first of all, this isn't helping. And like, why? Like, keep your composure, stay calm. Calmness is power. Correct?
I would strongly agree.
Okay. So Greg has taught me that. And my mom has even said, like, Greg has been an incredible, person in my life. I mean, he's really made for a big change, even calmness in our house. I mean, I still lose my crap with the kids, but I don't think I lose it as badly as I used to with you being around. I mean, I know you don't like it when I absolutely like lose my shit. So
it doesn't really do anything if you just start yelling hysterically at people.
Yeah. Which is how I sometimes used to handle situations. All right. So another thing that we want to talk about is, first of all, you just forced me. I don't know how I kind of got it just kind of happened. Greg took my phone on New Year's Day and like set me up with a 5K training plan. And I was like, oh my God, I guess I'm in this. So I just finished my first 2 weeks. I'm doing a 13-week 5K training. Now I'm not a runner. Greg is a runner. And I want to talk about this because I talk about your running on my Instagram all the time too.
But make sure you let them know that I didn't always like running.
That's what we're going to talk about. Yeah. So when we met, you were really into like your Garmin and the steps, and like I also got really into like tracking my steps because we would always be, the one thing about you is like you're always moving. You take calls a lot of times on your phone, and you're always walking, but you are also into running. And so, tell us about how you got into running, and then we're also going to talk about why you don't listen to music because we all think you're a psychopath for that. Okay, go.
I got into running. I was in university, and one of my buddies was a cop, and I've always been like an athlete, so in decently good shape. I would run sometimes, but not really. This guy was a cop, like significantly larger than me, but was training for this, and I was like, dude, you're such a pussy. It's only a marathon. Only these losers run. And he's like, man, you couldn't even do it. I was like, buddy, I would beat you no matter what. So he trained the whole time. And then like 2 weeks before, I was like, man, I should probably put on some running shoes and try to make a few laps to see how far I can make it.
Oh my God.
So I ran a little bit. I was like, dude, this sucks. Like, it's the worst. I just want to quit. And then I was like, man, but I talk shit, and like, I'm going to beat this guy anyways, because I'm just, a better athlete, like just better.
Yeah.
So I ran for a couple, like probably the 2 weeks before, trained horribly, but still beat him in the marathon.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. My marathon time was terrible, though. It was like 3:35.
But you ran a marathon. Like,
yeah,
that's okay.
So I still beat him. He was like 4 hours. I still beat him by like 15 minutes. But then I saw the other people running, and I was like, man, like I could probably do better if I actually trained. And, I couldn't walk for like 2 weeks after that, because it fucks you up. But
yeah.
And then after that, I just started running a little bit, then a little bit more. And that was it. That's how I got into it.
And now you train for like time. I mean, you're training to like, even like just to keep shaving your time off of all your races and your running. I mean, you just do it for fun. Like sometimes you're not even training for a race. You're just doing it.
No, it's just running. but you got to burn the calories. Like if you're going to eat like shit, you got to burn more calories. And like, that was kind of my running thing. So it's like, what's the easiest way to burn 1,000 calories? It's like, I'll just run for an hour and go fast.
Yeah.
But like now I want to train for a 5K for absolutely no reason at all. It was just like, my time wasn't great. I didn't like it. I ran a 5K for devotion on like one of the things you sponsored.
Yeah. In
Parkland, and I just didn't like the time.
Yeah. So you're like, I'm going to beat it, and I'm going to start training to beat it. So,
I mean, I think for the Parkland one, I ran like a 6:40 mile. So like maybe a little faster than that. So it took me like 20 minutes and a half to run 5K. And then I was like, dude, I got to break 20. And then I ran another one, and I did like 19:30. And then I'll try to break 18 for absolutely no reason.
Yeah. Just because. And Greg will run until he it's not all the time, but like there are times when you run so hard you puke.
Yeah, that's how you went hard. It's the same with the Peloton. Like, we'll be taking a Peloton class, and then, anybody who Pelotons
Guys, this guy Pelotons like a complete animal. Like
I'm not that great at it either. Like it's cycling, right? So, the bigger the person, the more, wattage output they have. But like you'll be doing it, and then you'll look at the leaderboard, and like someone will high five you, and I'm like, dude, is that guy talking shit? Like,
and then he just goes
fuck
off.
This guy.
And I'll hear him in the other room, and he's like, and I'm like, oh my God, is he having a heart attack? Like, what's going on in there? He's just going ham to beat somebody in Peloton world. And I'm like, oh my God, and dripping everywhere, sweat flying everywhere.
Did you ever have Maria on your podcast?
Yes.
So I was talking to her, and she's the same way, so she can't do it anymore. So Maria is someone who does like Dana's mom friend who does like triathlons, and like she's ultra competitive. Same thing. We were just having a good laugh about it last time we were talking, where she's like, dude, someone will high five me. I'm like, yeah, dude, fuck that person. I'm going to crush them. and I don't know who this person is. Yeah. And I never will.
You are so competitive. Now, why do you, because you run without music, and like from the time that I met you and I saw you do that, I was like, ew, is this a red flag? Like, this is my guy. This guy might be crazy. Like, I don't know who trains without like headphones or music. So do you just like listen to your breath as you run? What happens for like what are you thinking? Like, how do you?
Nothing. It hurts. And like running sucks. Anybody that says they really enjoy it, like I don't think they do.
I don't enjoy it.
No, it's just like you're running, and I keep telling myself a story that like I'm just going to keep going one further.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then, I started doing this, and then I read that Goggins book, and like that guy's an absolute sociopath.
He's crazy. He's crazy.
But like I respect his commitment to fitness, do I agree with 50% of the shit that he does? Yeah, the other 50% probably not so much. Doesn't seem so smart to me. But it just gives you a bunch of time to reflect and like, talk to your demons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, my God, I don't know. The running, I did my 3 miles this morning, and I use music sometimes is how I escape the pain of the run. So like I'll like listen to the beat or like just sing in my head. I'm not singing, but I'm singing, and it's just like that's how I'm pushing through because it is
but
painful.
Then sometimes you'll pick your pace up too fast, and then your heart rate's going to be too high, and then you're not going to recover, and then I'm
going to gas out.
Yeah, and then like your next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 miles will be too slow.
Yeah. So one of the things that Greg and I, like why we click so well as a couple is because like fitness to both of us when we started dating was a priority. And Greg made it clear, not that he needed to me, because I was like, but like he made it clear that like fitness is a priority and like nothing can get in the way of that. And I mean, I was like, I'm like, well, you're not going to get in the way of mine either. Like, you know, I was like, welcome to my house. Like I have a gym and I turned an entire room into a cardio room. Like fitness was obviously a huge part of my lifestyle. So we clicked because like we have our like our times when we just know, like, if Greg says I'm getting in a run, like I know that he has to get in his run. And like if I say like I have to do my cardio or I'm going to go train or whatever, like neither of us ever stand in the way of that. And sometimes with couples, it's like if they're not on the same page, I know that there are couples who like somebody will like, do you really have to go to the gym or like just stay home and like be with me? And it's like we get each other, correct?
Well, yeah, you know, I don't want to be. You're like, oh, you can't do this. Like, man, what do you want me to be? That slob instead? Like, come on, man.
No, in fact, you have to be my trophy, my trophy. Like I'll be I can't, you're younger than me. That's the other thing, guys.
No,
Greg,
way younger.
Way
younger.
Greg's way younger, but younger to the point that you didn't even know like Lionel Richie songs. Correct?
I don't even know who that is.
Which was so weird. Like so Greg and I are only, how many years apart are we?
5, I'm 38.
And I'll be 44, but like I'm 43.
Yeah, 5 years.
So you were born in 86. I was born in 80. But yeah, like every now and then, because Greg was born like deep into the 80s and I was born in the early 80s, like there are some times when like there'll be a movie and I'm like, oh my God, this is the best movie. And Greg's never even seen it or heard of it. And like and with music and like Lionel Richie, it was like, is like one of my favorites. And I tried to play, you knew like none of Lionel's songs. Freaking crazy. Okay, so what did you think about devotion when you first met me? Like, I told you that I owned a supplement company. Didn't I give you guys samples? Did you take them home, or maybe I gave Scooter samples? I was always trying to just sling my powder to everyone, getting people to try it. You probably thought it was just like a powder, like every other powder.
I just put it in a shake and had it.
Yeah,
and it was great, fine.
And then I started baking for you.
Yeah, and then you started baking, and I don't think you told me the first time, and I kept eating this stuff. I was like, yo, this cake is unbelievable. And then she's like, oh, there's only like 100 calories in each one. I was like, so I can eat the whole fucking thing. Fine. And she's like, yeah. I was like, all right.
And now 4 years later, I have made you, we just did the math. So Greg loves monkey bars, and that is on our website. And it'll be in my cookbook, but monkey bars with a crumble topping. And we were just doing the math. It shouldn't even be
called monkey bars. We had this
talk yesterday.
It's not.
So Monkey Bars got its name because when we had flex flavors and we only had angel food cake, we made these cinnamon bars, but out of monkey bread flex flavors, which is a cinnamon brown sugar flavor. So somehow they got the name Monkey Bars because we used monkey bread flex flavors. But now we don't have monkey bread flex flavors. We make it with whatever, but the name stuck. So we call it Monkey Bars, but people think, oh, there must be bananas in it. But there's not. So anyway, Greg loves them. And I've made him a full batch every single week, I think, since we started dating. And that's 4 years times 52 weeks in a year. What's the math, Greg? You're so good at math. What is that? 208? Really? That's a lot of monkey bars. Yeah. So I make a batch every week and I freeze them. And then also you like taste test all the other stuff. We make banana bread. You like that. Yeah.
We do. We love the banana bread. Most of the devotion stuff's great. I mean, the only thing I don't like is the caramel.
Because you're not a caramel guy.
No, I hate caramel.
He hates caramel. But if you love caramel, you will love the new caramel. So don't listen to him. That's another reason why I feel like he's kind of a psychopath. Like, well, who doesn't love caramel?
Yeah, I guess.
But then again, Bryce doesn't like peanut butter, so she's
she's a psycho. She's probably a serial killer.
I know. I'm always like, what family? You're not even part of our family. It's so weird. Like even Jagger likes peanut butter. Everybody likes peanut butter.
But the caramel really tastes like caramel. Like, it tastes just like it. So I mean, if you like caramel, then that's
no, it does. And we nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay, another reason why Greg and I. So I thought that this was interesting because I had never dealt or dated a guy that like who was into, well, okay. So Greg, you guys always know I have like weight fluctuations like crazy. And what finally made me realize as kind of an athletic person who works out a lot, your weight fluctuates a lot too. And I kind of want to just say this on this podcast because, the scale messes with a lot of people. And like some women think like, oh, men don't have to deal with the weight fluctuations that we do. But your weight, like you can wake up one day and you're like 160 and the next day you could be like 173. Like you're like,
yeah, I can put on 15 pounds if I eat like a lot of salty food.
Yeah. And then you can, but your weight, and then you can drop weight quickly. You put weight on. I mean, until once I started seeing that happened with you too, like I stopped feeling so weird that like my weight fluctuated, like, cause there's nobody else in my life that like I would be like waking up, like going to the scale or like talking about that with, and especially for a guy, I mean, I would say
there's between like 5 and 7 pounds versus the morning for night for me. Like every day?
Every day, yeah.
So like
that's huge
I'll
swing.
Weigh 171 tonight, I bet. And then when I wake up tomorrow morning, I bet you I'm 165.
Yeah.
But that's if I drink, like the sodium supplements, So
yeah.
I've been drinking a bunch of those. So like I'll be a little heavy, but if I want to go to 160, I'll just stop drinking those and then drink some more water. And then
also your dietary... you changed your diet, like from when we met to how you eat now when you started dating me. Like, do you want to tell people like how you ate as...
Oh, sure.
As a bachelor?
Since I've been hanging out with Dana, there's always devotion. There's always like healthy choices. But I mean, before that, I would eat McDonald's for breakfast every day I ran, but I would run like 5 days a week. So I'm going to eat Ron's probably 5 times.
He calls McDonald's Ron's, by the way. Is that a Canadian thing?
Ronald McDonald.
Ron's?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ron's Canadian. Is McDonald's.
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Yeah. So I probably eat McDonald's breakfast 4 or 5 times a week. Then I would eat probably like 20 or 40 chicken nuggets as like a meal for dinner a couple times a week. So like you're hitting Ron's like at least 7 times a week.
Okay.
Plus Taco Bell.
But here's the other thing. So when people sometimes look at Greg and they're like, oh, it's easy for this guy. Like, oh, you don't get it because, Greg likes to not wear a shirt and you are conditioned where you see your muscles and you run a lot, yet you hold plenty of muscle for a guy who runs a lot. So you also need a lot of calories to hold on to your muscle, because runners sometimes who run as much as you, because you'll get home and you could run 9 miles, 11 miles. Like you do a lot of distance running too. And a lot of times runners look like string beans, but you actually hold on to a lot of muscle. Correct. So like you have to, like, you're always about like, I mean, from the time we started dating, you're like cows in, cows out. Like you're in the,
yeah, that's all that matters.
Okay.
Anybody else that says it doesn't, they're like, "Oh, these are good cows, those are bad cows." Like, dude,
but you have to be strategic about how you're eating in order to stay lean and also keep on your muscle. So you weight train a lot too. I know we talk about your running a lot, but you lift hard and heavy. Like when Greg trains, he trains hard and heavy.
Yeah, I lift 3 days a week, and that's it. But full body, and then like I'll kind of like fuck around in between and do like, if I got like 15 minutes, I'll just do bicep curls for 15 minutes or pull ups for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Greg is the type who it doesn't have to be a perfect timing. Like he can just walk into the garage, do like a quick 15-minute training and still like kill yourself in 15. He'll walk in from the garage and he looks like he just was like beat up, but.
Yeah, we have weights at the office too and punching bags and stuff like that set up.
So you'll also get it.
Yeah, so I'll get it in there too. So like, every day I'll do something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, with running, you hold a lot of excess fat too. So like, that's something that like, I know I get from running distance, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. But still like, I mean, and then, but you're still relatively lean. I mean,
yeah, but like I eat a lot of protein and then, probably average day I burn 4,000 calories, like regardless. It's usually like my Garmin says it's between 37 and 4,000.
Yeah.
So like that's a decent amount of calories to eat.
Yeah. And so so when we started dating, Greg was significantly, I don't even know what to say. I don't want to say leaner
And skinnier from McDonald's.
But skinnier, but like I didn't, when your face, like you, in my opinion, you look like way more handsome now because it used to be that you would get so lean that your face would look skeletal. And now, and it looks older. Now you look younger. You look healthier. You look more filled. No, you look healthier. You look, okay. No, handsome is in. And now your face looks so much more handsome because you're more filled out.
You're just saying that because you're stuck with me.
I'm not saying that. I'm turning you into what I want in a man.
Yeah, of course.
No. I'm just kidding. But no, anyway, yeah, you've definitely, and you eat a lot more vegetable. Do you think more vegetables now that you're with me? I'm veggie queen.
Yeah, I eat more vegetables.
We prioritize vegetables every night. Like last night we split like a bunch of green beans just to like make sure we got in our veggies.
Yeah, I mean like before, I'd probably go a week I'd probably try to eat vegetables once a week before.
Yeah. Once a week?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now you every day.
Now
and
it's every day.
And I packed some in your lunch.
Yeah,
you had some green
know.
beans and Brussels sprouts today.
Yeah, but I was more shredded before I hung out with you. Way skinnier. I was 10 pounds lighter.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a good look. Now you look like thicker and manlier and like filled out.
I don't know about
your
that,
face looks really good. Yeah. And you've got a great head of hair.
But,
so Greg calls a head of hair salad, a good salad. Again, like vegetables. Right?
Yeah, salad. I don't know where that came from either.
Yeah, we have to one day come up. I think I started in a notepad, like all the words that you say, you know, like ripping darts, smoking
cigarettes,
cigarettes, ripping darts, ripping Hollywoods if you listen to lines of cocaine.
Hitting dartboards.
What else? And then if somebody's like gonna break up with somebody, like gas a person, instead of break up, he's like, oh yeah, he gassed that girl. Like so many funny. There's like
you pour gas on it and light it on fire. You know, like gas. I don't know.
Just like poof. Okay. Oh wait. So let me see the questions that other people, because we only have a few more minutes left. Oh, this has been fun. Okay. What did they say? Funny. We did get a bunch of. Somebody wants to know what's your favorite thing about Dana.
Her fitness and devotion nutrition.
What?
Yeah.
I guess. So you always thought that you said to me that, you didn't, did you think you were going to be single or something like that your whole life? Or what did you say when you?
I thought I was going to be single forever, man. I was single for a long time.
And what would happen when you go on dates?
Nothing. I'd hang out with them once or twice. And, you know, that's about as far as it went. I didn't really care what they had to say after. That wasn't interesting.
You once told me that you walked out in the middle of dates too.
Yeah. All the time.
So what would happen? You would go on the date and then it just wasn't clicking and you'd be like, I gotta go.
Yeah, I would just leave cash on the table and leave. Or like just ask for the check and be like, I don't care if you stay. Like just, I'm going to pay for this and leave.
Oh, damn. Wow. So when you met me, and you called it an interview, you didn't call it a date. You called it an interview that we went on. Cause I was like, oh, that was our first date. It was November 20th. And he's like, that wasn't a date. That was an interview.
Yeah. First dates are interviews. It's from a movie. It's gotta be, it was Ryan Reynolds in something. So
you were interviewing me.
Yeah.
And I was checking all the boxes.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the favorite thing about me, so were you excited that I was into fitness? If that's your favorite thing?
Well, no, I was excited that you had similar interests to me and like continue to have similar interests and like morals and principles and that sort of thing. So
yeah, that was good. And I remember you, also one time we were at the airport and you said to me, you looked up from your laptop and you were like, I really like the fact that you have like your own shit going on.
Yeah. So you have your own business, man, and you have your own life. So it's cool.
Yeah. I wasn't like, I've never been like the one of those like helicopter, like riding you, like over you, hovering you, telling you, right?
Helicopters riding you?
No. Like a hovering. Well, they say I'll call it like a helicopter parent, I think is a term. And then I was trying to think of like, what's like a good expression for like, you know, like there are women who don't have like a lot going on. And so then they're always like calling their husbands at work and like, when are you coming home? And like, what are you doing? And no, like you never hear from me unless I just need like some answer.
Yeah, unless you need something.
Yeah.
which is good. 'Cause everyone's got their own stuff going on, you know?
Yeah, which has been really good. And yeah, wait, let's see. So what somebody wanted to know, how much devotion protein do you use?
Probably 3 scoops a day, I would say. You know, maybe more. I have, for sure, I'll have like the monkey bars. Dana will make a loaf. So call that 2 scoops.
Oh yeah, you take a loaf to work every day. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. And then I probably have, I have that old chocolate protein that I'm trying to finish. I'm committed. So Dana had this run of rejects that was mislabeled and like filled with like old protein that tastes like shit.
Yeah.
And I'm committed to finishing it.
Disgusting.
So I eat one of those a day in like a mug cake probably, or in pudding.
Okay. Yeah. It was a reject brownie batter batch. And like Greg gets pissed if I throw food out.
Yeah, man. Like, you ever been poor?
But I'm like, Greg, this is disgusting. It's not necessary. You don't need to eat it.
Yeah,
and like,
but I've been poor, and like, man, I'm gonna throw it out. Yeah.
Ugh, you guys, the brownie batter, something happened during a run. It was rejected. We didn't sell it, and like Greg just refused. So now he has it at his office, and
it's almost done. There's like 200 packets left, and there was like 18 cases, I think. So, what is it? 18 cases.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so it's 18 cases. What, 200 packets?
Oh my God. Okay, well.
Right? Is that right?
Bless you for choking that down.
3,600. So over the last 2 years, 3,600 packets.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Well, all right. And in case you guys want to, were ever wondering why our dog is so amazing, it's because Greg trained him. I know I show Jagger on Instagram all the time, but he's the man. And that's meaning Jagger. He's really well behaved. And Greg is the one who was like the dog whisperer and has gotten Jagger to just be the best guy ever. So, and he was like perfect timing, because I had just gotten Jagger like a couple weeks before, like 2 weeks before you and I started dating. So Greg adopted him as his own. And now he's been Jagger's dad.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. All right. Well, this has been fun. I think we touched on a lot of good stuff, a lot of questions and topics. And
I hope it was interesting enough for your people.
I think they're gonna like it. I think they're gonna like it, because now you've been my mystery man, and you don't really like talk, or I don't like talk a lot about you or like your background and stuff on Instagram. Like, they see you, but
well, yeah, that's my story, and like I said, I hope it's interesting enough for them.
It's very interesting.
So
yeah.
All right, you guys.
All right, you guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Until It's Done, a Devoted podcast.